Hey everybody, it's Ashley Bradley, the intuitive business coach, and today I'm bringing to you 4 tools that you can use. I would call them spiritual tools that help you to access your own intuition and your own inner wisdom, which you might have a business or you might not if you're watching this. But if you do have a business, it's really important for you to be able to access your own intuition, because how often are you finding that you're stuck, or that there's a challenge ahead of you and you're trying to navigate and work out the best next move, and your intuition is going to really serve you when it comes to that. Now, if you don't have a business, you also have challenges in your life, and you can still watch this and this will still apply. I will say that it's typically our own intuition that we have a hard time trusting when it comes to ourselves. So you might have really strong intuition with other people, but these tools are really going to support you in getting the confirmation that you need to actually trust that intuition. So the first one that I'm going to show you is the pendulum, and you can buy these or you can make your own. Some people will even use a necklace. If you have like a crystal pendant or something like that at home, or some kind of wrapped crystal, you can take some kind of like string or fishing line and tie it on there to just really make it your own. If you do go and buy one, I would say to play around with it a little bit, and I'll show you what to do with that, and to find the one that reacts to you and actually moves best for you when you start asking it questions. And if before you start using it, or when you first get it, just like with cards, if it's something that you really start to get your own energy on, that you'll start to actually get better answers from it as it gets more attuned with you. So that might mean like sleeping with it under your pillow or next to your bed, or keeping it in your pocket throughout the day. So what you would typically do when you first get one, or when you're trying it out, is I usually hold my hand here and I ask it, show me yes. And so mine swings forward and back for yes. Okay, thank you. Show me no. And you just try to keep your top hand that's holding it as still as possible. Mine swings in a circle. Okay, stop. And then a lot of people like to say, can I trust this pendulum to give me accurate answers today? That third question's optional, but I know some people that like to use that one. Okay. Is a pendulum a good tool to use to confirm your own intuition? Yes, it's saying yes. So basically what you would do is that's your I guess either your process for shopping to see which one's moving for you best, as well as your process for how you would, when you start working with it, how you would ask a question that has a yes or no answer. If it's not a yes or no answer, some people like to make almost like a circle diagram, like a circle graph that has different answers or things in the circle, and you can actually hold it over what you draw on a piece of paper, and it will move in the direction of what you have written on there to give you your answer. So that's a slightly more complex way to work with it, but a good way nonetheless. Okay, so number 1 is the pendulum. Number 2 is not one that I personally work with very often, but I have my own preferences, and who knows, this might be for you. Some people love these. These are called runes, and mine are in a little bag, and they're basically these happen to be like little stones that have different symbols on them. Some people, you can go on Etsy and figure out how to make it for yourself. Or like I did, you can just buy them. And so they usually come in a little bag or container, and you would ask your question as you hold the bag in your hand. You'd move it around a little bit, again, just kind of getting your energy on it. And then you would choose out one of the runes. I don't have these rune symbols memorized, so many of them come with like, this one has like a little scroll-like piece of paper, and this one had the double X on it. So then you would look and see. So this particular symbol means completion that leads to new beginnings, freeing yourself from something that is no longer valid to who you are becoming. It's pretty cool. And so looks like there's about 20 or so different rune symbols, but they're really simple and easy to use, and you could find them from a number of different vendors and people online. Okay. So number 1 is the pendulum. Number 2 is the runes. Number 3, I'm actually going to give you one that doesn't require a tool or buying something. So you can use it today in case you don't have any of these things. So number 3, I call free writing. And oftentimes our intuition tends to get blocked, or the channel gets smaller when we start overthinking and overprocessing, that our logical mind tends to get in the way. So to free write, you would have either a certain topic or a question at the top of your page. You would decide on your time, let's say 5 minutes, for example, and you would have to write constantly without stopping until the timer goes off for that 5 minutes or whatever time you choose for yourself. And if you feel like there's like maybe a flow of thought that stops, just keep writing. That's the only rule. Just keep writing and write anything that's coming in. And when you go back and you read what you wrote, you will usually be surprised that there's some real clarity that comes in there, some real wisdom, and it also tends to be things that are kind of surprising, like, oh, that's weird, I wrote that. That's happened to me a lot before. But I almost view this as like a way to create like a direct channel with your higher self that allows you to bypass the logical mind of like processing it and trying to figure out what things mean or if it feels true or not. So number 1, we got pendulum. Number 2, we have the runes. And number 3, we have the free writing. And last but not least, number 4 is working with cards. And you might select any deck of cards that you're really drawn to. This one happens to be Earth Magic Oracle cards. So I'm just going to give you the simplest and easiest way to work with them. All of these different card decks always come with like a little booklet, and the beginning of the booklet will actually give you a process for how to work with the deck, different layouts. So just look in that booklet if you want to get more fancy with it. But first, when you get the deck is typically you want to clear the deck, and the fastest way of actually clearing the deck is just holding it in your hand and knocking on it, and that puts your energy and vibration through it. Again, you can get more fancy if you want. I like to give the cards a quick shuffle because that's also a way where you're actually touching each of the cards and getting your energy on it. And just like with the pendulum, when you get something that's new, if you're able to work with the card or put it in your pocket, the more that it's able to absorb your energy, the more clear answers you're going to get. And ask a question. Whatever question it might be that you want clarity, or you might just request, please get me clarity on then the specific challenge. And just pick a card at random. So it's interesting. The deck is Earth Magic, so this card that came up was the Fairy card. And then what you'd do is you'd either look at the image and you'd say, you'd notice what feelings, emotions, things that you notice that pop out about the image strike you. And what I often do for myself, since it's really hard sometimes, again, to trust our own intuition, is I just read the meaning straight from the book for myself. And you would just read what it says about this specific card, And typically what you'll find is that it's like exactly the thing that you need to hear, or whatever your intuition is telling you, that it ends up echoing that and really confirming what you already thought. So these are some fun ones and different things for you to play with. And I say play because it should also be fun, because we never, even when it comes to challenges, want to take things too seriously. That never helps us get past our challenges any faster. But enjoy it, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.